Hi, everyone. Welcome to this video interview. This is Alison Bucklin, and I am leading Team Possible for the Man and Woman of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm representing the Maryland chapter, and through sharing these messages and these stories of hope and inspiration, we hope to just bring peace and light to the community and to the world, and to also create awareness around how we're all connected through being impacted by cancer. This is a very relevant mission for me. That's why I am leading Team Possible. And I have one of my premier guest team members for Team Possible, just one of the lights of my own personal life. And I'll let her jump in and tell you who she is. So welcome. I mean, I'm so blessed that we're able to be here, Barbara. So just please share with everybody, with the world, who you are and where you are from.
Well, thank you, Alison. Thank you, Team Possible. And of course, thank you, LLS. I'm glad to be here today to share my story. Well, to tell you where I'm from and that sort of thing, I'm Barbara. I'm originally from West Tennessee, and then after that, basically grew up in Maryland, DC area, and spent most of my life there. And then my husband and I retired about 14 years ago to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes, and we love visiting you there for sure. So while we're here,
I'm a father and a grandmother.
Exactly.
Yes, and I am a mother-in-law, of course, and I am a cancer survivor.
Yes, and please tell us. Oh boy, I'm just so blessed. This is so relevant because 3 years ago today, 3 years ago, when this video is being shared, you received the gift of life. And just, I'd love to share a little bit more about your story and how your life has been affected by cancer.
Well, it has been affected by cancer, of course. I had acute myeloid leukemia, but basically it affects you in some little ways. You lose your hair, most likely, and it comes back. I used to call it crazy hair. And sometimes you end up with dry mouth, dry eyes, but hey, got my water right here, so I'm okay with that. I have family members and friends with cancer. That certainly has affected my life, and still some have cancer today. My journey, personal journey, began in September 2016 on my birthday. Happy birthday, right? But I remember that call so well when the doctor called, and I had just pulled into the driveway from a meeting at church. And he said I had an aggressive acute myeloid leukemia, and that was shown from my bone marrow biopsy. So it's stunning. Obviously, you don't expect to hear that news, and you don't know how you're going to react if you do get the news. But my reaction seems odd when I look back on it, but I had a good life and a wonderful life, and so maybe it's just my time to go. Well, my family had a different attitude, apparently. They took action. Oh my goodness. They started making calls to doctors and hospitals and researching clinical trials and medical advancement. So they started looking in for me for healthy foods and researching toxins that are in our environment. And they just took action. That's the only way to describe it. So I just sort of sat back and watched them work. And then my neighbors, I shared my story. So my neighbors cards, started calling, and they brought food. Our neighbors even had our grass cut for us. The neighborhood kids hung signs up on the fence. Congratulations on finishing your first round of chemo. Get well soon. We love you. And I know my family came over to the hospital when I was there one time, and I looked out my window, and oh, it was such a beautiful sight. Brings tears to my eyes today. They were holding up signs and cheering, "We love you, Grandma." Well, those were all kindness and acts of love, and my heart was just full. And I thought, they must want me to live. And so my attitude changed from one of just accepting this, it's my time to go, to I'm going to fight this thing. I'm going to be strong, and I'm going to survive. And all that love just surrounding me just uplifted me and made me get busy and with striving to live. And so anyway, I had over a year of chemo, and it was a new chemo. It was designed for an older person, maybe someone over, 55 or 60 or 70. It was slower, but more effective and safer for an older person. And then I was in a clinical trial, and all that was new. Those were medical advancements I was able to participate in. And then I went into remission, and what every person with cancer wants, right? And then came the time where I knew it was coming. I needed a stem cell transplant. And it's a little scary, a little daunting, because you start thinking, well, are they going to find my DNA match? They need to find someone as close as possible to your DNA, your genetic twin. And and then you start thinking, will the person be available when they get the call? Well, it worked out fine, and worked out beautifully, actually. My DNA match, my genetic twin, full 10 out of 10 match, was in Germany. And it was a young lady, beautiful young lady, and I mean beautiful inside and out. And she willingly went through the process. She went through DKMS in Germany, which is the equivalent of Be the Match in the US. And she donated her stem cells, something like over 2 million to me. And it was just amazing. And now we are communicating today. We know each other. We hope to meet up. She really gave me hope and gave me the gift of life. She really did. And anyway, it's just quite a journey. I am coming up on my 3rd birthday since that bone marrow transplant, and just filled with gratitude to God, to friends, to medical staff, to LLS for all that funding of that such important research. Just appreciative of every moment of every day.
We're all so blessed. I mean, just think that, your story, when we look back at your diagnosis and through the process, and just, of course, being there and being so close to the story myself, I mean, wow, just looking ahead and like knowing we're in this place in time right now, it's just, I'm just so grateful. And so thank you. I mean, you are a warrior, and, you did not just sit, I mean, you fought, you did. And just to have to listen, to accept help, to maintain that positive attitude, to change the things that you needed to change, to do all of that. I mean, there's, certainly is admirable and inspiring to me, and I know will be to everyone who gets the opportunity to hear this story through what we're sharing today. And so, Barbara, you're just amazing. I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too.
I love you. I love you. I love you. So next question. What type of blessing or advice could you offer for those out there that are impacted personally, by cancer? I know we all are impacted. Some of us go through it ourselves. Some of us are family members or support system, but we all know somebody. But I'd love to know what type of blessing, you have for others or advice that you'd give.
Well, there's so many blessings that surround us. There really are. There's some obvious things that affect you. You're most likely going to lose your hair, and I did, and it grew back slowly, and I called it crazy hair. I know you remember. Some of it would be over here, some of it would be over there. And it may come out, mine came out curly, and now it's straighter. And you end up sometimes from chemo with dry throat and dry mouth. But like I said, got the water here, I'm ready. You just, that part's nothing. But I guess as far as advice, I remember my oncologist said to Bob and me, my husband and me, just find the joy in each day. And even on the darkest day, look for it. So my wonderful husband, he sat with me every second of this whole process. But at the end of the day, we would literally talk about the day and try to come up with the joys. And sometimes it would be a nurse smiled while she was, treating me, or a neighbor said hello, or we watched the birds outside the window, or the flowers are in bloom. Don't take anything for granted. There are joys there, and some that I probably missed before I went through this process. So just find that joy. Now, having said that, it took me a while to learn this. I thought I was supposed to just smile all the time and be positive. And it is important to be positive, but I learned once in a while, it is okay to say, this day just is a bummer. Just this day, it's not good. You fill in your favorite word there. But I think that is important to look at it realistically and say, this is bad today, but don't stay there. It's not a spot you want to get into and stay. Yes, recognize that maybe it wasn't the best day today, but go ahead and look for that joy, find that joy. So I just wanted to say that cancer may change the way you look at things. I've heard a lot of people say that it may have you perceive your world in a different way, and I'm going to say it's likely in a very good way. I was just so amazed at the love and all those random acts of kindness. So that really opened my eyes to be more aware of the love from other people. So that encouraged me to share my story and let people help me. I used to be one, somebody would offer to help and I'd say, oh, no, thank you, I'm fine. No, let people help you. It's an act of love. Everybody is just trying to love you. There's a lot of goodness in this world. So my advice, I guess if I narrowed it down, would be find the joy and share your story. Talk to other people that you trust.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's so true. I mean, that joy in the journey and, finding out why you're going through it and not why me. You never said why me, and I do think it's important as well. I love the advice that you give about, you know, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. It is important to have that positive attitude, because then you can, you know, choose a higher thought and something to keep you going. But when it sucks, it freaking sucks, right? And it's okay to say that. And that just makes us human, and it makes us vulnerable, and it makes us authentic, and it makes us relatable and inspiring and uplifting to other people to know that we're just human after all, and we're all connected in this way.
And you're not alone. You are not alone.
You are not alone. That is for sure. And I'm so grateful that we have such a, you know, ability to now share this message to help people feel like they are not alone. And so I have one more question for you. So in, you know, sharing these videos and these stories, so because we're aligned with the work that Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is doing to raise money for the campaign that we're on through the end of July. July 31st is the end and of that campaign. And I will be putting a link. Barbara's on Team Possible. It's all going to help those that are in need. And I'll put a link to Barbara's fundraising page so you can add and donate, or feel free to join our team. Or if you know somebody who has a story of hope and inspiration that they want to share, I'd love to talk with them as well. And so, Barbara, what is one thing that you'd like to champion about the work that LLS is doing for not just blood cancer, and but all cancers as well?
Well, I'm really grateful to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, to LLS. I'm just thankful, and I would champion their funding of medical research. LLS is a global, nonprofit, voluntary organization. I think the largest in the world. It is a global leader in fighting cancer. And hey, you know, I went through so many of those medical advancements myself, with the new chemo, with the clinical trials and the DNA research. I had some pretty significant, you may recall, pretty significant number of abnormalities, and all of that DNA research is what helps you get rid of those. And so I really benefited from that medical research. I did not know what a global effort fighting cancer was. It really is. There are people there to help you. And I just really believe that we are on the verge of some exciting new things, some new treatments. There may be a day we don't even use chemo. That could be coming. And you know, the more you read about it in the cell research, and where they take your fighter cells out and reproduce them and re-inject them to you. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but at all. But I do read that because I find it so interesting now. And I'm just grateful to LLS, to everyone who supports them, because I promise you, it is going to a good cause. So, you know, right now, for me, I know there's hope. And I want to tell anyone with cancer to fight, stay strong. There is hope. There are people out there like LLS fighting for you. And so life is good.
Life is good. We are blessed. Thank God every day for keeping you here with us and keeping, you know, LLS going, and thanking God as well for just bringing us together in this place, because a year ago we didn't know. We were just finding out who your donor was. Now we get to come together. That's going to be our next video. And then also, you know, we're here 3 years ago, you know, on your 3rd birthday, like happy birthday, your new life. I mean, just wonderful. So sharing these stories of hope and inspiration just to help others. And it's just, I'm so grateful to be in this place and have this opportunity and to sit down with you and share this video and this conversation that we're having. And I just love you so much. And Thank
And I
you. Is
really,
there anything else you'd like to say or say goodbye or anything else you need to add?
just thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm filled with gratitude.
Wonderful. Go Team Possible.
Yes.
Anything is possible.
Yes, it is.